reporting from the South African Cannabis Network studios. Here were some highlights. Non-profit company Fields of Green for All entered a team to walk for a cause at this year's Radio 702 Walk the Talk in Johannesburg. The cannabis legalization team took to the streets, voiced their opinions, and was well received by the friendly Sunday crowd, estimated at over 55,000. The North Gauteng High Court was the venue for 2 more stays in prosecution in July. This is the High Court the Dagga couple are set down to appear in March 2016 and are the first stays of prosecution in the Pretoria jurisdiction since the Dagga couples 5 years ago. The Dagga couple's legal challenge was boosted by the offer of assistance from Johannesburg-based advocate Don Mahon. Advocate Mahon will steer the ship as the constitutional challenge prepares for the set-down date of March 2016 in the Pretoria High Court. We now cross over to Buzz at the Below the Lion Bong Boutique.
We couldn't believe our luck actually that they would come to us, because normally we go clamouring to other people asking them for us to get the airspace, so we're delighted to go to TED.
But I think that they also, we've been pushing it in the media for nearly 5 years, so there has to become a tipping point when suddenly the media started paying attention to us and they come to us instead of us going to them. So maybe it's also a result of a payoff for a lot of hard work.
Maybe. It is an emotive subject, and TED deals with emotive subjects.
TEDx's slogan is ideas worth sharing. So we've had to narrow it down because, Dagga is a huge subject.
Yeah.
And we don't want our idea that we are going to share to be something obvious. I mean, we all know that cannabis is good medicine, and so it's certainly not going to be any of the obvious ones, but there's going to be a very, very definite call to action.
We've never done this kind of presentation before. Normally we do presentations and speeches, but this is actually it's a talk, and we're trying to turn it into a talk by making it quite informal. And we're putting a lot of work into the image of it, and it's an absolute nightmare keeping it to 15 minutes.
Memory, tripping balls in a taxi. Memory.
We'll be in Cape Town at the Cape Town City Hall on Saturday the 15th of August. From the conference is from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m.
And we are the second last speakers, so we reckon somewhere around about 3 o'clock or so, we're not sure.
At TEDxCapetown.com. Yeah, TEDxCapetown.com. And have a look at the other speakers on the list too. I'm sure that there'll be lots of interesting things going on.
It's getting hectic, man, out on these Joburg streets. The taxis drive like assholes and we're scared of the police. Don't know our neighbors cause they live inside of forts. Can't trust the justice system, the bad guys never get caught. There's 100 ways to die.
Well, the documentary is about addiction in South Africa. We don't want to really be biased about drugs or anything like that, so we actually want to keep out whether it's alcohol or hard drugs or any drugs really. We want to show what the end results of addiction are in South Africa. We want to educate kids, we want to educate families so that they see that it's not really the drug that's the problem, it's the addiction that's the problem. We want people to see where it can lead. That's the important thing. At the end of the day, anybody can get involved. We're looking for people's stories. We want to hear what your story about addiction is, your story about drugs. Even if you don't believe that you're an addict, we need to know what your story is about, because at the end of the day, we have to give an unbiased approach towards drugs and addiction in South Africa.
With the Viking and the rest of our crew. There's a lot of egos in my town.
We're going to be giving 1,000 schools a copy of this DVD, which in essence means that just on 1 million school children are going to be seeing this documentary. What that means is that we're able to educate just on 1 million children about the dangers of addiction. We want them to make proper choices. Nobody watching this wants a child to become a drug addict or try drugs or anything. What we're trying to do is just educate them so when the time comes, they make the right decisions about their lives. There's a couple of ways you can contribute. I would suggest firstly going to our website, having a look at the website. There's a Tell Us Your Story link where you can tell us your story. If you'd like to contribute towards the campaign, our Indiegogo campaign, which we've got running at the moment, there's a link right on the front page that tells you everything there. Click on that, it'll tell you everything about the documentary you need to know.
You have no idea. I was drunk, probably more than sober, for 10 years of my awake life.
You really do rip yourself away from your family, and it breaks up your whole family's trust, because eventually you start lying about where the money goes to and or where you are. You start blaming other people, and it creates distrust. And
We play out this episode with a track performed by Mishmash at the July Laidback Saturday at Tandoa. For the South African Cannabis Network, I'm Kenema Tokes.